one of the four basic skills that an individual acquires as he continues his journey in life. Reading, activity characterized by the translation of symbols or letters into words and sentences that have meaning to the individual. The ultimate goal of reading is to be able to understand written material, to evaluate it, and to use it for one's need. Jeanne Chall enumerated 6 stages in reading. Each stage varies according to the age of the readers, as well as the improvement that he gains in reading as he moves from one stage to the next one, from a simple material to a complex one.
The pre-reading stage covers a greater period of time and probably covers a greater series of changes than any of the other stages. From birth until the beginning of formal education, children living in a literate culture with an alphabetic writing system accumulate a new profound knowledge about letters, words, and books. And they gain some insights into the nature of words, that some sound the same at their ends or beginnings, that they can be broken into parts, and that parts can be put together to form whole words. Investigations regarding the pre-reading stage have identified the reading and writing strategies engaged in by preschoolers, the children's problem-solving strategies, and the concepts of reading and writing held by the children during their different phases of pre-reading development on the way to beginning reading. According to Jeanne Chall, the essential aspect of stage 1 is learning the arbitrary set of letters and associating it with the corresponding parts of the spoken language. In this stage, the children and the adult interiorize the cognitive knowledge, such as learning what the letters are for, how to know that bon is not bug, and knowing when a mistake is made. This stage has been referred to pejoratively as a guessing and memory game, or as grunting and groaning, mumbling and bumbling, or barking at print, depending on whether the prevailing methodology for beginning reading instruction is a sight or a phonic approach. The qualitative change that occurs at the end of this stage is the insight gained about the nature of the spelling system of the particular alphabet language used. In a sense, it is as if the child has recapitulated history from the early fumblings with the discovery of alphabetic writing to the equal, if not greater, intellectual feat of discovering that the spoken word is made up of a finite numbers of sounds.
In stage 2, confirmation of what was learned in stage 1 takes place. Children learn to apply the knowledge learned in stage 1 to read stories and words. Children learn to recognize complex words and read stories that contain increasingly complex words.
Essentially, reading in stage 2 consolidates what was learned in stage 1. Reading stories previously heard increases fluency. Stage 2 reading is not for gaining new information, but for confirming what is already known to the reader. And with the basic decoding skills and insights interiorized in stage 1, the reader can take advantage of what is said in the story and book, matching it to his or her knowledge and language. Although some additional, more complex phonic elements and generalizations are learned during stage 2 and even later, it appears that what most children learn in stage 2 is to use their decoding knowledge, the redundancies of the language, and the redundancies of the stories read.
When readers enter stage 3, they begin the long course of reading to learn the new information, knowledge, experiences, and thoughts, because their background knowledge, vocabulary, and cognitive abilities are still limited at this age. The first steps are usually best productive when materials and purposes are clear within one viewpoint and limited in technical complexity. In a sense, entering stage 3 fits the traditional concept of the difference between primary and later schooling. In the primary grades, children learn to read. In the higher grades, they read to learn. It is with the beginning of stage 3 that reading begins to compete with these other means of knowing. However, at the beginning of stage 3, learning from print is still less efficient than learning from listening and watching. Hypothetically, by the end of stage 3, the efficiency of reading may equal and begin to surpass that of the other means of gaining new information, particularly listening. Stage 3 reading is also characterized by the growing importance of word meanings and of prior knowledge. The need to know some new things, if more is to be learned from reading, becomes greater. Readers need to bring knowledge and experience to their reading if they are to learn from it. They also need to learn a process, how to find information in a paragraph, chapter, or book, and how to go about finding what one is looking for efficiently.
The essential characteristic of stage 4 is that it involves dealing with more than one point of view.
Compared to the textbooks in the lower grades, the increased weight and length of high school texts no doubt can be accounted for by greater depth of treatment and greater variety in viewpoints. Stage 4 reading may essentially involve an ability to deal with layers of facts and concepts added on to those acquired earlier. These other viewpoints can be acquired, however, because the necessary knowledge was learned earlier. Without the basic knowledge acquired in stage 3, reading materials with multiple viewpoints would be difficult.
At this highest stage of reading development, readers can read materials in the degree of detail and completeness that is needed to serve their purpose. Readers select materials to serve their purposes. They know what not to read as well as what to read. They analyze, synthesize, and make judgments about what they read. They balance their own comprehension of the words with their analysis of the content and their own ideas about the topic. At this stage, reading is constructive. The reader constructs knowledge and understanding from reading what others have written.
To sum it all up, we can say that reading is a process. One moves from one stage to another if he or she is fluent enough to reach the next stage. These are the 6 stages of reading development according to Jeanne Chall. How about you? What stage are you in?